glad to have you here today. This Friday morning, let's see, 9 a.m. Let's see where I am in Mountain Standard Time, and you might be joining us from the East Coast, the West Coast. We're glad you're here. This session, we do these workshops, webinars. I don't want to use the word webinar. Realtors are a bit webinared out, but this is a hands-on workshop to where we're teaching you the tools that you need, how to use the tools, how to use the Realbird tools to dominate in your marketplace, to help you get listings, to help you find buyers for those listings. And what we're going to talk about today is how to take control of your real estate brand and use it and leverage it so that you can get more business and get more buyers for the listings that you acquire. We are our webinar room here today, workshop room. Okay, let you chat with us. You can see the chat box on the right. Feel free to ask any questions, make any comments. Introduce myself. My name is Eric Zebarth with Agent Web Coach, and I'm a guest presenter here. I've been working with Realbird, over 10 years, and worked with a lot of Realbird clients that are using Realbird successfully. And so I've learned a lot in working with them and helping them implement what Realbird has to offer and generating business and generating leads and generating listings. So I've been asked to come and share, how Realbird can help you be more successful and dominate in 2017. I know it's already March, but still, so a lot of real estate markets have been just really busy right from the start, even though it's been winter in some areas of the country. Listings are hard to get, tons of buyers out there. Now that's kind of a general overview. It might be a little bit different in your area, but most of my clients that I work with across the country, that's kind of been the case. They have plenty of buyers and not enough listings. But Realbird can help with either one for generating buyers and generating listings. And we're going to talk about how to do that today. I'm not alone here today. I have in my support. Hey, good morning, Maria. I'm not alone here. I have one of the owners and developers of Realbird, Gabe Gross, and he's here with me in a support role to answer questions through the chat box and such. Thank you very much, Gabe. When it comes to the process of how do people find you as a realtor? How do they find your services? How do they find reviews about you? Your success that you've helped other people. How do people, find you to trust you? Say, hey, I want you look like a realtor that can help me sell my home for the highest price possible, quickest amount of time, for the highest price the market will bear. Those are the goals that we want to accomplish. When Realbird is key to doing that. Now, I've been in this industry coaching and consulting real estate agents for over almost 19 years. So I've seen all the tech tools come and go. I've even represented some of the marketing tools for realtors that have come and then that have gone. Realbird's kind of stayed the test of time because the Realbird has changed and has evolved. Let me give you an example. Nowadays, if you have a website that doesn't look good on a mobile phone or a tablet, you might as well throw your money in the trash, down the garbage disposal, and turn it on. I'm seeing the analytics when I work or build a website and work on it. I'm seeing the analytics in most areas across the country. Over 50% of the people that visit the websites that I do for real estate agents, more than 50% of that is not on a desktop. I'm on a desktop here today. I have actually two 32-inch screens doing this webinar here today. And that's pretty easy to do a website that looks good on a big screen like that. But if you got to pinch and grab your website, you're not helping anybody. You're just frustrating people. Well, okay, so that change has really happened in the last 18 to 24 months. Well, Realbird knew about that like 4 years ago. So about 4 years ago, they revamped all their tools, their single property websites and tools, so that they would be mobile friendly. That's just a key in how much forward thinking Realbird's been to really put you in the driver's seat. Realbird is about giving you the tools you need so that you can be successful as an agent, whether you're a listing agent or a buyer's agent. And some of you have been to this webinar before and shared, but I just go over the Realbird real quickly. It's really two parts to it. One is a listing publisher, and there's really everything fits within these two halves, which I'm talking about here today. Realbird gives you the opportunity to be able to create a single property website that's kind of independent, that has its own self-sustaining life, uh, um, life necessity, so it can travel the internet. You might have a listing and you put it in the MLS. That's fine. Your listing on the MLS, and most MLSs will give you an opportunity to say, hey, I want from the MLS, I want this listing to be syndicated or shared other places. And you can do that. And they will take your listing and they will share it all over the place. Of course, they'll scrape your contact information off it and put another broker or listing agents, buyer's agents information on that, and that's up for you to decide whether that's worth it to you or not. What I'm talking about is kicking up a whole nother, like 10 times potential, and that's where you take the listing and you load it inside your single property website account, Realbird, and you create that listing, and here. Let me go ahead. I'm going to show you one here. Let's go ahead. This one here. So that you get an opportunity to market that listing yourself and to be able to share it and for it to be seen. And of course, all those versions of it are all branded to you. They have you down here so people can see your other listings, your website, and your reviews. You got testimonials here, you got your bio here. So think about if you have, and I have some agents that I work with, they have 10, 15, 20 listings. And they're creating these single property websites. These travel the internet. They get shared. They get liked. They get tweeted. They get posted by you. Hopefully, that should be part of your protocol. But they also get shared through social media and through just being viral. I mean, this is a listing. I'm just giving an example. This listing here is a listing in Austin, Texas, and Austin, Texas is a neighborhood that everybody wants to be in. This is a 2-unit building, and this it's actually a duplex, but it's really cool. It's designed well. It was on the luxury home tour. It's beautiful and gorgeous inside. By the way, each half you can rent for about $3,500. They're rented out at about $3,500 a month. So think of the income just between that two duplexes. $7,000 a month. That's a lot of money. That's some good money there. So the idea is you are your listings and you are your brand, and you as a real estate professional are your reviews. So the key thing the key thing I want to talk about today is how do you take control of that so that you are seen and that you are found. Let me show you a graphic here. So where do buyers find the home they purchase? This was kind of an interesting sliding scale from 2001 to 2016, so the end of last year. And you can see here's the red here. So, okay, are people still, the buyer finding the home they purchased through a realtor? Yes. And if you look at it, it was a lot in 2001, but pretty much if you look pretty much from here out, it hasn't really changed that much since 2007. But what has changed is the red. And that's the internet. So, and because I've been coaching real estate agents for technology, for almost 19 years, I've kind of watched a lot of things evolve, like we talked about already, how online marketing has evolved to where, for example, in the last 2 years, things have to look good on a small device because that's where people are looking. They're looking for homes now. That's now more than a desktop. People have been working all day on a computer. They don't want to go home and stare at a screen again, sitting in an office chair. It's uncomfortable. They want to be in their their easy chair. Hey, I got to look for a home, honey. We need to look for a home. We just got a new job offer. We're accepted. We're going to move to another city. What are we going to find? Where are we going to look? Well, this is just showing you right here that's grown, and it's interesting. This is about where I started in the industry, helping real estate agents, and I've seen it grow down over 51%. And I believe that. So that is internet. So obviously they could be going to Realtor.com or Trulia or Zillow. Zillow, of course, we know has grown exponentially. Most people do go to Zillow. Zillow gets most of the people, and you might have a strategy for how to be part of that audience that finds Zillow, and hopefully they find you. Um, and by the way, there's a lot of different feelings about Zillow. Some good, some bad, some really ugly. I work with agents before. They'll say, "I will have nothing to do with Zillow," and I coach or consult them to a bit of frustration sometimes because they say, "Well, they're taking advantage of me. They're stealing my listings," But what I tell them back is when I consult them is, hey, if they're doing it to you, do it back to them even harder and more aggressive. I know that sounds terrible, but that's what they're going to do. How do you leverage that so that you can get the best out of it for you? That's what it really comes down to. I'm not saying you have to be a premier agent with Zillow to take advantage of what they have. They have a lot of great tools that you can use to benefit yourself and generate business. Okay, so you need to be found. You need to be found, and your listings need to be found. And you need to be aggressive, and you need to put a system to it. And Realbird is part of that system. So I'm going to share with you today some of the places that I feel you should be. People, for the most part, people aren't going out looking for an agent specifically, and they're going to see your name and call you. A lot of times, the first thing they're going to find if they're searching for a home, this is for buyers, they're going to search, an address, or they're going to search homes in Oceanside, California. That's what they're going to search. And the key is to be found where they're going to search. And that takes a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, but let's talk about that today. So I don't want you to think that people are just going to come out and look for you if they don't know to look for you. They're looking for homes for sale. And hopefully they'll find your listings because you've used Realbird and other tools, and you've been aggressive in sharing your listings. By the way, I feel you need to be in all these places, and there's probably a couple more than I could add to here. Let me ask some questions out there. How many of you have taken advantage of these places where your real estate profile can be, where you can be found with maybe a bio, some reviews? Look at all these places that your reviews can be. I know a lot of people get confused. I get clients, they ask me, where's the best place to have my clients review me? I will tell you it is right here. Remember I talked about exploiting them back? Have them, and you won't have total control of the reviews. You have to ask your clients to go to Zillow, create a free account, and review you. Okay, and hopefully they'll click all 5 stars because you want all 5 stars. Here, I'll do back up 5 stars. Yeah, one more. Yeah, you want a 5-star review, no doubt. By the way, when they create that user account and talk about the success they had with you, it gets reviewed. And if Zillow doesn't like the review or they don't feel it's legitimate, they don't post it. But still, it's worth it. It's still worth it to go through that process. Now, the idea is you want to take that review once it's posted, and then you can post it in other areas. LinkedIn is another place for business professionals that you can have people can review you. They can see, and people, this is very understated. The opportunity. I don't know how to. I'm putting understated there. This is, a lot of people don't take advantage of this. I have a network. I've been in LinkedIn as a real estate technology coach for over 12 years, and my network is deep as probably every 1 in every 6 person in LinkedIn is connected with me, and that's just because I've been constantly sharing, getting reviews, and of course I'm not a real estate agent. I'm a technology coach for real estate agents, but I've got business from LinkedIn because my reviews are there. People can see what I'm doing, and it's made a huge difference in my business. Okay, YouTube. Actually, people can review you there. That's right. Your videos. You can put up your reviews, and people can review your videos in YouTube. Reviews in Facebook. This is huge too. People can put similar like Zillow. They can put your 5 stars. People trust reviews. How social media has grown is because it's empowered the individual to find out what's really going on, what they can expect from a service. People want to do their research on their own and find out. And the reviews that you generate from your past success are a great way to be able to show people without them talking to you first that other people trust you. So that third-party confirmation is huge. Uh, okay, so these are different places you can be found. Maybe not so much Craigslist so much as with your listings there, but Twitter. I hope every one of you has a Twitter account, and you might say, I don't like to type 140 characters. Well, that's okay. You can build a Twitter account and link it to your articles and your listings so that when you post a listing, it shows up in your Twitter feed, and you can build a following there. You don't necessarily have to be chatting, chatting about everything that happens in your life, 6 times a day, but have a Twitter account. What about Google Plus? Now, Google Plus came out um, as a place for kind of business people to connect together, kind of like LinkedIn. And then they realized they wanted to be really more like a social network like Facebook. And they've been trying. Now, Google's great at a lot of things. Google Plus has been a thing they've not been good at, and they're constantly trying to. People say, "Boy, they're just going to get rid of it." They're not. They're not going to get rid of it. It's a key network to what Google does. Well, you have an opportunity to put your personal profile like Facebook there, and a business profile, and to claim it, and then have yourself show up in a bunch of different places because you've built your profile there and shared content, for example, articles, your listings and such. And people can review you there as well. Many of you might not know that Realtor.com, if you're an NAR member, which most of you are, I have very rarely run into a real estate agent that's a real estate agent and not part of NAR, that's not paying dues to the National Association of Realtors. So all of you, even if you're not a showcase listing agent or whatever, you have an opportunity to have reviews posted there. And those reviews do get seen. What about Yelp? Yelp is a great service. Now, I have to, with a little bit of caveat here, Yelp, it is a good place for reviews. I have clients like Noel Kreider. She's in Auburn, California, Northern California. And she's got probably half of her business last year, and she did really well just from people reading her reviews on Yelp. Now, it's a bit of a challenge because much like the Zillow world, that Yelp, it's their kingdom, so they write the rules. So people can review you there, but if their only review that they ever submit to Yelp is you and how great you were, it might not get seen because Yelp favors reviewers that review the restaurant, the realtor, a painter, a contractor. They want people that are active in there. But don't minimize the opportunity there to build your profile there and get reviews there. Okay. Many of you might not know Homes.com. Gosh, I worked for these guys in 1998, such a long time ago when I started this industry. And they're still around, and they still do websites, and they still have their own network of taking your listings and marking it more places than your MLS does. Did you know that you don't have to be paying them $80 a month to syndicate your listings? You can have a profile there with reviews. You maybe didn't know that. That's free. That doesn't cost anything. Okay, so this doesn't cost anything. This doesn't cost anything. If you're a part of NAR, this doesn't. This doesn't. This doesn't. Guess what? This doesn't. You can build. That's reviews for. I may be specific. Your biz page. So you could build a free Facebook real estate page. So why wouldn't you do that? Okay, YouTube doesn't cost anything. LinkedIn. So all these things had. Now this has a paid level, upgrade to have your profile there in Active Rain. To have kind of like a community of realtors that can share information with each other in that network. That's the free level, which is still worth sharing your listings in there. And of course, Realbird makes it easy to do that. But you can also be what's called a rainmaker, where you pay them. They have different deals, different time. Once in a while, I see like $100, $175 a year to be a rainmaker, and that's where they'll share the content that you share in there outside with the search engine, so that you're found. Do I think it's worth it? Absolutely. Ben Kinney, a while back, bought Active Rain from Zillow, that kind of bought it from Market Leader, who neither one of those did much with it. And Ben Kinney's done a great job of buying it from Zillow and then putting some money in it, and it's getting better by the day. But it's a place you need to be. It was one of the first social networks for realtors exclusively. Anyway, it's a great place to be with you, your listing, and your profile. Okay. Oh, and I believe you can have reviews here too. Okay, so the idea is, if you go search for yourself, what are you finding? And by the way, I recommend you do that in Google search. Bing, and Facebook. And let me show you how to do this, because it's at least when you're going to search in Google and Bing, you want to do what's called a um, incognito, or new private window. So what you do is, this is not paying attention to where you've been before, because Google and the search engines, they're going to try to anticipate on your computer where you were searching before and try to give you results that are similar to what you got before. And you don't want that. You want to search as if you were blind to you. In other words, you were maybe a potential seller or buyer that's looking to find someone like you that provide your services. So by doing the private browsing, and this happens to be Firefox. If you private you can do it in Chrome too, and you can do it in Internet Explorer. And basically what it does is, first of all, it's not tracking what you do, but I'm not really concerned about that. But what it does is it doesn't take into account where you've been before. And that gives you the clearest perspective of who you are. And because you don't want it, you want to be as objective as possible. Okay, so when you're in there, you want to search. Okay, so I've already done this for one of my clients, and I want to show you all the different places she is. Or she's found. Maybe that's better. Okay, Susan Golding. She's in Tracy, California. She's a real estate broker, has her own brokerage, and her brokerage is Crown Key Realty. Okay, and she's found everywhere. I popped up a few examples just to show you. If you pull up her name, you're going to find her Google business page right there. There's her business with reviews. You're going to find her in Yelp. She has 12 reviews there. Okay. This happens to be her website. Reviews. She hasn't got any reviews yet in Realtor.com, but we'll work on that. She's got some reviews here inside Facebook. She is actually very active in Active Rain. So if this is me just searching for a name. These are the things that where I found her. Okay, and of course, what am I finding? I'm finding her articles. I'm finding her listings. That's all connected. See. Okay, so here's a Trulia. Here's her Trulia profile, and by the way, it can be Zillow. There's her LinkedIn. Here's actually MapQuest. She has her company reviewed on MapQuest, believe it or not. So, and here's happens to be her reviews she has inside Zillow. She's got 4 5-star reviews. Okay, this is a listing I found. I searched for her and I found a listing. Now she doesn't have any active listings right now. She has more listings coming on the market. It's really tough in her part of Tracy Mountain House to find listings. But this I did find when I searched for her. I found the sold listings. And you might ask, why would finding a sold listing help me? By the way, why did I find a sold listing? Well, that's because inside Realbird, you have the opportunity, okay? You have the opportunity to have your listings have a life if that's allowed in your area, and you might have to check with that. For those listings to have a life outside outside of their active window. So I don't know, maybe there's a different way to say that. Okay, let me show you here. So for example, this is Steve in Austin, not Steve Austin, but Steve Adams in Austin, Texas. And these happen to be listings that he has in Realbird. And here's one that just recently sold. It's a new build on the golf course. Here's one that the half of that duplex I was talking about. They're selling half of it at a time as well. Here's another listing on the golf course, and then here's the whole listing, and that is the one where you want to buy both sides. So the idea is you want to put your sold listings in Realbird. Even so, for example, what if you're new to Realbird? I've only been with Realbird 6 months, okay? But how long have you been a real estate agent? Oh, 2 years, 6 years. Well, how can you let that success that you've had in the past before you joined Realbird be another version of you that's separate, that's shared out with the internet, so that you get found? Well, you want to put your sold listings in there. You want to go in there. And let me see. I'm inside Steve's account. Let me go inside. I'm going inside Realbird. I've logged in. These are single property websites that he's created for his listings that have gone sold. And let me just pull those up. So I have 22 in here. something really funky here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to grab a widget and put it on his website, okay? And I want to show it. So that what we're going to do is I want to show all his solds, and let's do large blocks. Let's show listing title, Pinterest style, more recent first. Let's get that code, okay? So this is something that'll blow your mind that you can do with here. I'm going to go create a page on this site, and I'm going to say, hey, these are the homes I've sold. So I'm going to pull that up, okay? I'm going to take that code. I happen to put that in the HTML side of WordPress. It's called text. I'm going to publish that page. We'll give an idea what you do. Okay, so one of the if you're in a tight market, and which is happening in a lot of areas like Austin, where homes are hard to come by, and you want someone to hire you to help you find a home, having your listings that you've sold in an area is really good to have, because it shows that you know the neighborhood, you've been successful in it, and say, gosh, I want to be in this neighborhood here in Austin. Maybe it looks like Steve might be able to help me find a home, because look at the success he's had in this area. That might be their last bit of hope to find something, is to find a realtor that knows the area, that has a sphere of influence, that might know about homes that are coming on the market but are not live or ready to put active in the MLS. Okay. And by the way, more and more agents are doing that. I know Gabe, that's on quietly behind the scenes here, supporting us here on our webinar workshop today. He's in an area south of San Francisco, and listings are hard to come by. It's just everybody wants to be, of course, it's a beautiful area. But the other issue is there are homes that are being sold before they even go into the MLS. So the key is, the deeper your network is, the more valuable you are to a potential buyer or seller, right? If they need you, if they need your services. So the idea is you need to own your own brand. You need to make sure you're found in all these different places. You need to make sure your listings that you're going back, these are all sold listings. And you can see that they've been shared and seen many times, even after they were sold. Now it's clear that they're sold. It's real important that people see that it's sold. But this tells a story about how successful Steve Adams has been in this area of Austin, Texas, to help people buy or sell. And by the way, let me give another example here. I put sold here, but some of these, I happen to know these are all ones he represented. He sold because I know I helped him with it. But I might say that a different way. These are the homes that I've represented over the last, 2 years, 5 years, 6 years. This is probably represented about 2.5 years. But you can put a listing in Realbird, okay? So we have a live, living, breathing listing, and of course you're going to make it active, like the ones you saw on his front page, his website. But by going in and creating listings for homes that you sold, we already talked about what that communicates, how your success and you're well connected in that neighborhood. But what it also does is represent. It's a good way to represent, kind of like a resume. For example, you can when you put a sold listing in there, it doesn't have to be for one you represented as a seller. Maybe it's one you negotiated, because that's your selling point when you're working as a buyer's agent, is to get the best house for the least amount of money, and negotiate like a bulldog on behalf of your client that's looking to buy that home, and that you negotiate a good settlement, compensation if the house needs repair or such. And that's where you become the bulldog for the buyer. Well, why not use the Realbird tool to be able to do that too? So you can post your listings even if you were the buyer. It doesn't say on the listing, hey, this person represented, I know they do it on Zillow, but Steve Adams would represent the buyer or the seller. It doesn't say that. You don't even have to put a price in. Just having an address of a successful close, buyer, seller, live on the internet, anchored to a neighborhood, is going to benefit you in so many different ways. And you have to let that kind of like let that sink a little bit in your brain, and know that you got to be found, but it's also your listings that have to be found. So I'm asking the same question here. I said, where can you be found? And by the way, that when you search in those different places, we talked about that already. Um, build your profiles online. By the way, let me give you a tip. Just you need to make sure your profiles align. You might not know that, but Google is already trying to figure you out. Uh, Google is already trying to figure you out who you are, and they're going in different places to do that. They want to find who you are, and they're going to try to put together the missing links. And sometimes they're good at it, and sometimes they're not. Okay, so the idea is you want to make sure that all your profiles have the same business phone number, business contact information. In the marketing world, we call this. Let me see my phone. We call it citations. Let me just find. Sorry, I should have grabbed that one early. Okay. The idea is you want to make sure that you're consistent everywhere. That they have the same name, because remember, Google's already trying to make sense of who you are, and so that's why it's important to have the same logo. If you have a logo, same profile picture, same contact information, same email. If you have a network that shares that. That's so that it makes it easier for Google and other search engines to be able to pick you up and to put the pieces together so that you're found. You're found in like Google Plus, and then Google knows what to do with you, right? So that's why it's important to make sure that you're consistent with your brand. If you have a name for your team or your group, or how you display your name, make sure it's consistent. Go and search yourself. I can't tell you how many agents I've worked for, and I work with them kind of putting all these parts together, and hold their hand and coach them through the process. And they'll go in and find themselves, and they're at Keller Williams now, and they'll find 3 profiles where they're still at Coldwell Banker. And that's just confusing when people find you. So you need to go hunt down those sources and make sure they're updated so that they reflect who you are. So Google and other search engines are going to put the pieces together. So make sure you give them the good pieces, the correct pieces to put them together. Like I said, some places you don't have control of what they say about you, okay? But where you do have control, take control, okay? All right, so I know we talked about your profile and where you are. And by the way, that's the greatest chance of people finding you if they're looking for you, is to make sure that your profiles are all correct and all in the same place. Okay, give me a second here. Pulling up my tools. There we go. Almost. Oh, there we go. See, for example, this is something she didn't build, Crown Key Realty. She can claim it as ours, which looks like what she's done because she's been able to add her logo and some other photos. But there's her contact information. There's her business address. There's her Google reviews. And see, that's important to do that. By the way, Google may have already built this for you. And it's your job to go search it out, claim it. There's a process of what happens. As I say, I think this is my business profile that you built for me, Mr. Google or Miss Google. It's mine, and this is me. And that's the only way you're going to have influence to change what they put together for you. Is to do that. Is to do that. And so, because what you do is you'll claim it, and usually do it through like a Gmail account or through a Google account. And then what they do is that, okay, we're going to send a postcard to this address that has a code on it. And usually get that from anywhere from, I've seen as early as 7 days, as long as 31 days, but usually average about 2 to 3 weeks. And then they send you that postcard. You'll go online, you'll log in, and you put that little code in that they give you, and then you claim it. And when you claim it, that's when you can go and edit it. You can add things to it. You can add images. You can add, and then it's a little more open for you to be able to get reviews. By the way, she has a 1-star review here, and I've seen this happen a lot. Is that, gosh, I've got all these great 5-star reviews, and then someone reviewed me, and they're anonymous. I don't even know who they are. I've never worked with a person that, the review they gave me has nothing to do with me. And you might say, gosh, how can I control that? How can I have influence on that? And to a certain degree you can, to a certain degree you can't. It depends on where it is. I know that like in review, like in Zillow, where you have a review that people might have submitted that you've worked with in the past, that you have an opportunity to put a response in there and respond to it publicly as well. And you should take advantage of that, even if it's a bad review. But let's see. But the other thing is too, get tons of great reviews. The best way to bury a bad review or one that you can't remove is to keep getting good reviews. And then they kind of shove down the bad reviews or a review you can't control or some crazy person troller that's doesn't isn't even someone you know. And in a way, you can't worry about it too much. I had a client, a Realbird client in San Diego, and his name's Jesse, and see the uh, Greenhouse Real Estate Group, and he's like the number one reviewed. Um, you can see, look at these. So this is just in Google. He's got 9 reviews. Very on even others. Look at this. What Google's doing now is that I told you. Remember they're grabbing pieces of the jigsaw puzzle all over the place. Uh, that's what they do, and then so they've done this here, and they've grabbed his reviews, 44 reviews from Zillow, and 5 reviews from Facebook, and they put it together. Remember, they're trying to put together who you are. Um, and Jesse's really good. He takes. Let's put him in Yelp here. Yeah, 179 5-star reviews, and I asked him one day, and I said, "What happens if someone gives you a 4, or maybe a 3, or 2, or 1?" He goes, "Great, I'll learn from it. I'll learn how to be a better real estate broker agent." He's just got a great attitude, but he's taking control of who he is and aggressively and done really well. So don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to review. Reviews are huge nowadays. That's why social media has grown so much because, peer review or what we call social proof is the word, the kind of the official word. Okay. I'm just read. Okay, Gabe, thanks for sharing. Right. They do have such. So hopefully everybody can see what there in the chat box what Gabe shared with us. I mean, in case you can't see that there, don't forget people have each of their own preferences. Yeah, you're right. You don't know where they hang out, Facebook or Google or Yahoo or AOL. You don't know where they hang out. So you got to make it easy for people to contact you. Some like calling, some like emailing, some like texting. That's another thing I've learned in getting leads. When you generate leads as a real estate agent, respond in kind. Pick up the phone if you can. If they have a phone number and you get a lead with a phone number, definitely call them right away. Hey, I saw that you were looking for some information. Let me get back with you soon. That's really important. And I know not in a listing appointment, in a showing, that's something you'll have to think about. But try to grab that phone when you can and at least connect with the people. And but try to respond and continue to communicate with leads in the way that they want to be communicated with. Okay, so let me backtrack a little bit here. Oh, and they said they measured. They actually did a study. I don't know how they did this. Talking about being a goldfish in a goldfish bowl, they measured the attention capacity of the typical and average person that's online searching and looking for things, and or pulling up a website or whatever. And they said it's less than a goldfish. It's like 8 seconds, if that. I know I do real estate websites, and our goal when I build a website is it should load in around 3 to 4 seconds. Really, if you can get it under 3, that's really good. If your site's loading, past 6 or 7, 8 seconds, they're going to shop away. They're not going to wait very long. So that's why it's real important to have a website. And by the way, your listings on Realbird are optimized to the hilt so that they load fast, they load quick, and people can get the information they need, not be bored and shop it on the next place, next realtor, next listing. Okay, so what we've been talking about here today is basically you grabbing control of your brand wherever you can. Hold on, chance here. Okay, there we go. Gabe, I might have. Hold on, let me see here. Oh, there we go. I think that's the one. Nope. Too many screens open. So Gabe, can you see my screen? Okay. I hope you can. All right. Yeah, I know what I'm going to do. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Just open another window here. I closed. Sorry about that. Okay, almost back up.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure I'm sharing the right stuff. Okay. In clicking through, I closed one of my windows there, and I'll be back up here in a second. Okay, there we go. Okay. I got click happy there for a second. Okay. So you have to decide for yourself who you are, where you could be found. Make sure your brand is consistent wherever possible. By the way, part of your brand is what your niche is, so that people can see you as a unique person. There's lots of different layers to real estate. Um, Most of the realtors I work with, they have a kind of a common niche, what's unique and different about them, a niche. Maybe that's a better way to say it. What they specialize in, what they're really good at, might be selling historical homes in downtown Bellefonte, Pennsylvania. Whatever it is, you need to be clear about what it is. And by the way, can you have more than one niche? Absolutely. I know I've worked really hard with my clients to have a face of who they are in the business, and provide different faces if that's important. For example, do you only want to be an expert in one city? Well, yeah, you do, but you want to start with one, but you want to build on that. For example, this is a real estate a client of ours. His name's Doug Buens. Doug Buens in the 680 group. 680 happens to be a freeway that's on the east side of San Francisco, and they call it the Tri-Valley area. And he happens to specialize in being a real estate agent that represents buyers and sellers in all these areas that are along the 680. That's the 680 group. And um, I've been able to build into his website kind of like 10 home pages that if he funnels people through there, and based on what they're looking for, but he still looks like the expert in the area. And that's one of the things that you can do when you have a website that represents you well. Can you be an expert in all those? I think you can be. Now, I would tell you that Pleasanton is probably his dominant area. I mean, if you look at just the homes that he's sold, and I think that's important. Remember, we talked about important of leveraging your sold listings. You look, most of the listings he has, they've all been in, like more than 2/3 in Pleasanton. I think he's just listing 6 in the last 3 weeks, and these homes are averaging, I'd say average around 1.2 to 1.5 million. So it's a nice place to be, but he's aggressive in his marketing, and he doesn't just put the listings on his website. He puts them in Realbird and puts them all over, and he shares them all over. But you need to take control of your listing. Search where you are, and then work to get control of that version of your profile where you can influence it and be consistent about the elements, what we call the citations, of your profile to make sure they're consistent. Okay? When you have listings, make sure all your listings are in there. I don't care when you started real estate. Put those listings in and mark them sold. You don't have to put a sales price. It's not going to say when you sold that. You sold a home in Austin that sold for $250,000, and now the home's worth $600,000 because it was 8 years ago. I don't care. You don't have to put a price on it if that would influence someone viewing that listing inaccurately, or put you in a bad and not so good light. Like, oh, you're selling really cheap in this neighborhood. Okay, and they're not going to know whether you're buyer or seller. But every single property is a kind of a self-sustaining, life pod of information about you, where people are going to see your testimonials. Did you know you can put your testimonials in Realbird? You absolutely can. Let me find that here. Let's pull mine up. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Find my Realbird here. There we go. Okay. So you can. Here's this is Steve Adams. He is in Austin, Texas, and you want to fill out your profile as much as you can. He needs a little help with his, and you also want to. Let me go to listing marketing. So you log into Realbird, and you go over into global settings. You can put your testimonials here. You can put your link to your Facebook page, and I have a link to his Facebook page. I have a little bit about him, and then I have his testimonial. So let's see what that looks like. Let me go back front page of his website. Yep, let's go here. Let's look in this listing here. So think about this. This single property website has these 3 pages And this information gets shared everywhere. So, there's information about Steve, there's his testimonials, and people read these things. The number 2 and number 3 pages most read on a real estate website? It's the about page and the testimonials or reviews. People want to know who you are, who else has said good things about you. And then I do Facebook as well. I found a way to put a widget in that third tab. It's supposed to be coming up here. It's only a little bit slow in pulling up. Yep, that should be pulling up. I'll have to test that and see why that's not coming up. So the idea is you can bring your whole Facebook business page in here with all its articles. Give me one chance. Let me see if I can find. Let's go. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. Here we go. I thought it would be a little bit easier to find this. Okay, so let's go there. So the idea is you can take your testimonials, your about, your profile, and then everywhere. Yes, here we go. So everywhere that's seen, people are going to be able to see that and be able to see. It's a version of your profile, but it's in another place that people can find. Okay, so I guess I'm not going to be able to show that. I apologize for that. Might just one more shot. Okay, work with me here. Okay. Any questions, by the way? Are you handling any questions that come in okay there, Gabe? Here we go. Mary Alice Rupert, she's in Long Island. Yeah, so here we go. So one of the pages you can put in a widget, and I can give you the code for that. And obviously, those my other 2 clients that I was finding I need to be able to fix that because this is basically our Facebook
Kathy
page.
Hyatt has a question.
Okay. What are the 3 things more liked at, again, about page, testimonial page, and what was the third? Well, the number 1 is obviously home page, but the second and third have been the about page and the testimonial page. What is the third? Well, it's usually the search. The search page is what people are looking for. We know most of the time that people are searching, not necessarily searching for agent, they're searching for a home. So you need to make sure that your search is available for people to look at. And I have, when I build a website, I make sure the search is predominant on the website, but at the same time, I want to feature the listings that an agent has. And you believe me, your people that you're representing the seller, they're going to want to know that they might be predominant on your website as well. Now, that's kind of not only is it a misnomer, but it's kind of like we know that the people that aren't going to find this listing aren't going to find it necessarily on their own website. They're going to want to search for property. They're going to want to go in here and search for property. And there's reasons. See, I have here's about Steve. That's important to have. They want to know whose site they're on. Even if they don't want to contact Steve, they still want to know who he is. Okay. And there's the other thing too is you should always provide a drill down search so that people can find homes for sale. Order up for them in advance so they don't have to search in the search box. That's one of the things that you can do, and that I think you should do. I think you should take advantage of that. So search your testimonials about you. The other thing that's I would say in the top 5 is when people are searching on a real estate site is what's their home worth. That is really key. And I don't have his right up front there, and I probably should. But what's your home worth is really a big one. There, I have it right here. What's your home worth? So definitely take advantage of that. So this is a really cool widget that you can actually bring inside one of your tabs inside every single one of your listings, and it takes your Facebook page and it shows all your latest posts. These posts were posted in the last couple hours. This one here, I know it was posted like 1 hour ago, and you can bring that in there, and then people can look on there and look at the article. And so every listing is an opportunity for you to be able to show who you are and what you do. So the idea is you need to take control of all those different places. And And Realbird makes it easy to be able to have your listings be sent everywhere, and for them to have a life past just being an active listing, and ability to be able to show that you're successful, in so that, to show that you're successful in the real estate world. There's another tool that Realbird gives you. You go to the same place I went inside Realbird, and you can go in listing marketing, and you go in widgets. And you saw me grab his sold and paste him kind of like a Pinterest style. But you can also do it, for example, maybe like sold, turn off active. And what we want is, right here, the listing map. That's the one we want. Okay. So this will show, if that's what those are active. Let me turn off the active and show you. So this is the map, and I grabbed that code, and I embedded that in this website. Pretty cool. And this shows you how successful he's been around town. And by the way, this isn't everything he's represented, but it shows a good cross section, and these are all sold. That's why I set this map to show this. So you can show his success visually. Pretty cool. So, all right. Any questions here? Okay. All right. So my challenge I want to give to you is I want you to take control of your profile, and then of course take control of your listings so that you can put your listings everywhere. Make sure you're consistent with your what we call citations we talked about. Citations are important. Be consistent throughout. If you find stuff that's not right, a bad review, you need to get some good reviews in that spot to push it to the bottom if you can't influence it or put a good response back to it. Sorry, I never knew you. I don't know what this person's talking about. But the idea is to take control of that where you can. Or get all your listings in there. I don't care how old they are. I really don't. Okay. So the idea is you want to be using all the tools available there that are out there so that you get known and get seen and people are sold on you and that they'll pick up the phone and call you. And that's really, really important. Anyway, any other questions? Oh, thank you for reminding me. Don't forget that you can add texting code to all your listings. Absolutely. For a lot of people, I got my oldest son will be 33 next month. And young family, wife, 2 kids, 1 on the way, good with technology, a millennial, right? He never buys anything unless he can buy it online or check out reviews. That's if I call him, he'll text me back. I know my wife is like, son, can you pick up the phone and call me? I know you're laughing, and you guys are laughing in the background. I know you can hear, because the younger crowd, they have their own world, and they text. That's just what they do. And you say, I don't like the text. Well, guess what? You're going to miss out on some business. And guess who's going to be buying property here before mortgage rates go up? The millennials that have money to spend. They've had a job. Maybe they're like my son, and in his early 30s or late 20s. They have good jobs, and they're looking to buy. So the idea is you got to be flexible, and you got to meet them where they're at. You could say, well, this is the way I'm going to be, and you need to bend to my style of business, and it doesn't work that way. You're going to miss out. You're going to alienate yourself out of the marketplace. I give a great example. Let's pull up Kay Muchmeyer. She's a Realbird member. She's in West Virginia. West Virginia and part of Ohio, what they call Mid-Ohio Valley area. Okay, I'm not going to tell you Kay's age, but it's more than you think. And she uses Facebook and Twitter and her website and Realbird, and she's not afraid of it, and it's helped her dominate. Even she told me she's slowing down a little bit. She's probably going to be retiring soon, But she uses these tools. Oh, look at this interesting article that posted on her website. Let's look at that. So, interesting. 59 million planning to buy this year. Wow, who doesn't want a piece of that action? They are most likely to buy are older millennials. Okay, 27 to 36, just like I said. Okay, Generation X. Um, uh, you want to be connected with those people. You want to give them the tools so that you can be found and so they can find listings connected to you. Okay. Well, great. I want to make sure we got uh, all their questions answered. If you need help doing this in putting your profile together, I'm happy to. Because I'm a guest here on this webinar here today, I do help agents kind of put all the parts together and help them with their marketing and put together the missing pieces. This happens to be a service cheap plug for what I do as a coach at agentwebcoach.com. And if someone would like to meet with me, I'm happy to give a free session and take a look at where you are and get together with you on the computer, to share a screen, kind of like we're doing with the webinar. And I'm happy to offer that, to give you some direction, where you need to go, what you need to do to start putting the pieces together. And of course, we're going to talk about Realbird and how you can use Realbird more. Because I think Realbird is the best $100, because that's what it costs to be a member of Realbird membership. A year at a time is around $100, maybe a little more, sometimes a little less. But you need to take advantage of that. It's the best $100 or so you can spend on your business. And hopefully I've shared today why that's the case. So anyway, so I'll put my contact information there, webcoach@gmail.com. Feel free to email me. My name's Eric, and I'll be happy to have a session with you. And let's take a look at where you're at, and let's make sure you're taking advantage of your Realbird for sure, and your other tools. And if I can direct you where to go, and we'll do a little bit of analysis of what you can do and what next steps you can take. I'm happy to help out and give you a complimentary session. I found out that helps a lot, help people clear the head and focus in the right direction. But otherwise than that, follow these notes. I could share with these notes anybody that wants to that send me an email, and I'll share the notes for what we talked about today. We are recording this session so that you can come back again. Hopefully I've opened up your mind and given you a little more hope that you can create your own profile online, and you can control the different places where you're found and influence it for good. And you definitely can take control of your listings, active, pending, or sold, and leverage those to get more business and show yourself as a professional in your area, drill down to a neighborhood. Okay? Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just contact me, webcoach@gmail.com. That's all I have to remember, webcoach